Hi, everyone, and welcome to my seventh podcast episode. My name is Meg, and I am a fully qualified yoga teacher, a fully qualified beautician and masseuse, and I have been working in the wellness industry for since about 2017 now. It's quite a while, nearly 10 years. And today I'm going to be talking through some of my sort of tried, tested, and favorite kind of beauty tricks, wellness tips that I have been doing for literally years. I think I'm now looking at my little list, and I don't think any of them that I've been doing for, I'd say, less than 2 years. So these are all methods that I have been doing for a very long time, things that I really, really love, and kind of, some little tips and tricks that just help or have helped me to kind of stay healthy, to stay, to like keep my skin a bit clearer, to just keep me altogether a healthy human being. um, I don't think I really need to do much more of an intro than that. So I'll see you on the other side and let's jump straight in. Hi, my name is Meg, and you are listening to the Wellness Musings with Meg podcast. I am a fully qualified beautician and yoga teacher who has studied and worked in health and wellness since 2017. I have been obsessed with wellness my entire life and have always wanted to share my passions more. If you love health, wellness, and yoga and want to learn more, this podcast is for you. I will be bringing you all things wellness, from diet and lifestyle to beauty tips and tricks, and of course, yoga as well. So grab yourself a green tea and find a tranquil spot, and let's jump in. So my top sort of, I think I've got 11 written down here. So these are like my top 11 wellness tips and tricks, beauty tips and tricks that I think if you can incorporate them into your daily life, they are going to make a big difference to your health, to your wellness, to your mindset, everything. So I think these are all sort of important things, or things that I've tried and tested and personally could not do a day without doing. I think pretty much every single one of them I do every single day religiously and have done for years. And the first one, which I think is just the most important thing, is to drink water. Drinking water is so important. Your body is made up of, I think it's like 70% of water. It might be slightly more. It might be 80. I can't remember off the top of my head. But your body is made up of so much water. And in order for your body to function healthily, you need to be drinking water. It is so important. I cannot stress enough how important water is. So I personally love to carry like a liter bottle of water around with me everywhere I go. I actually have a liter flask, because I used to work in a spa, so we're talking years and years ago now, and like we were like back to back with clients, and also my water would always sit by a cabbie so it would get warm. So to kind of combat both of these issues, like I didn't have time in between clients to go and fill my water bottle up, especially as our kind of the best drinking place was actually at the other side of the hotel where the gym was. So I would basically have this liter flask, and I would try and drink like 1 liter in the morning, and then when I was on my lunch break I'd then go and fill it up. And then I kept it in a flask because it kept the water cold. So a cabbie is where you kind of put all your hot mitts and hot towels when you're doing your treatments, and obviously that like radiates heat. So a lot of the other girls would have like just plastic bottles, or like the Lucasade bottles, or like just like the Buxton water, whatever they're called. And they just like, the water would go really funny in it. It would taste funny. It would get warm. It would just sit out. Whereas when it's in a flask, and mine's a stainless steel flask as well, it just meant that it kept everything really, really cool, which was brilliant for the summer. So that's kind of my first tip. And also in the winter, I would put like a green tea bag in there. So I'd be drinking like warm tea all day as well, because obviously a flask keeps the temperature. And another little tip with using or putting your water in a flask is, if, like me, I'm somebody who loves going into saunas. take a flask of water into a sauna because it stops the water from getting hot. I'll sit in a sauna and I see so many people coming in with just like normal water bottles, and just like the plastic ones, I just look and I think that must be disgusting, like drinking out of a warm plastic bottle. And especially like as you're getting warmer and warmer in there, like I just like to have something cold to drink. So yeah, take a flask of cold water into a sauna, and yeah, it's so much better. So that's my first tip, and probably the most important. If you're going to take anything away from this video, incorporate drinking water into your life. I can't stress enough how good it is for you. And my second one is getting plenty of sleep. So your body does most of its healing. So when I was at college and learned all about like skincare, and when we were learning facials, and my teacher was like, your body, your skin does most of its rejuvenation between the hours of 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. So in your cardiac rhythm, in your cycle, in your sleep cycle, when your body knows it's between 10 and 12, that's when it will do most of its rejuvenation. So getting plenty of sleep is so important, because your body just does all of its healing. It kind of debunks what's gone on throughout the day. Get in your sleep, get your water, get your sleep. And also when you wake up the next day, I find if I haven't had my 8 hours, I feel so groggy. I really, really do. And also when I sleep, I've always slept on a silk pillowcase. I've got 2 silk pillowcases now, and I mean, I've had my silk pillowcases, oh my gosh, like they are actually years old. And I wash my pillowcases once a week, to make sure that they are clean. But the good thing about silk is it helps to, it stops like bad bacteria, it stops the tugging on your skin, stops tugging on your hair. So yeah, silk pillowcases are amazing. I love my silk pillowcase. So yeah, I always will sleep on a silk pillowcase. And I also will, like this kind of goes into sleeping but also not. So I am very lucky, I guess, in that my hair, it doesn't necessarily need to be dried with a hairdryer, and it doesn't need to be styled. I am extremely lucky. But I if I ever do want it curled, because my hair is naturally straight, I will sleep with it like wrapped back. So I don't ever use like hair straighteners, curlers, blow dryers on my hair. I let it dry naturally. And yeah, I don't ever brush it when it's wet either. I just like really look after my hair. And if I do want it styled, I'll wrap it back in. I've got like this silk like tube thing, and then silk scrunchies, and I'll wrap my hair back, and then I'll sleep. And then in the morning when I unwrap it, I have these really lovely curls. So that kind of comes into the sleeping tip and trick, I guess, but also it's kind of coming into hair care. Yeah, and with my hair as well, I will always put a hair mask on once a week. So like one day a week, I will have what I call a Meg day, and I will literally I'll put a hair mask in for like hours. I'll have a bath. I'll do a facial on myself. And yeah, I'll like shape my nails, and paint my toes and my hands. Again, I'm very lucky that I am a beautician, so I can do everything at like a professional standard. Before I was a beautician, it was very hard to like do things like shape my nails properly and make my nails look nice. And I guess like it's again like skincare, unless you're interested in it, you don't tend to have the right skincare. And yeah, but I always make sure every week I have like a day for me where I have a bath. I let my skin soak, and like baths are so good for you. I'll fill it with like Epsom salts and Himalayan salt, and I'll just chill and relax. Put a face mask on, do a facial. Like I'll probably properly like, yeah, really pamper myself. I tend to scrub my whole body as well, and when I scrub, I literally just use a bit of salt. So that's kind of one of my favorite tips is, yeah, scrubby gloves. which you can buy on Amazon for like nothing. And yeah, salt. And my favorite face mask is honey, which sounds crazy, but I will spend like, and it sounds like a lot, but I'll spend maybe £20 on a jar of honey that I'm going to use on my face. But honey has so many incredible properties to it. Like Cleopatra had was thinking along the right lines, like the milk baths, there's lactic acid in milk, so that's such a good idea. I think she used rose water as well on her skin, and she used honey, which is antimicrobial, however you say that, I can't remember, but basically honey is amazing with healing. It's antibacterial. It's just, it makes your skin so soft, so lovely. But if I was to buy a face mask that would kind of have that same level of healing and moisturizing and kind of the health benefits that honey has, I'd be looking at a jar, like a jar of a face mask for like 100 odd quid. Um, so yeah, I buy a very expensive jar of honey, but I'd rather buy an expensive jar of honey than a very expensive face mask, because I genuinely think that honey does more for your skin, and it's natural, it's gentler. Yeah, so that's another little tip. Obviously from there, I always have a good skincare routine. I never sleep with makeup on. Never, ever, 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 ever. Will never. I cannot remember the last time I slept with any makeup on my face. And that is so important because, especially if you're someone that's prone to acne and prone to breakouts, which I am, sleeping with that makeup on, it's just so disgusting. It is just gonna congeal, it's gonna get all over your pillowcases, all that grime, all that bacteria. Oh, wash it off, just wash it off. Yeah, sleeping with makeup on your face, that is, when you train to be a beautician, that is like level one, first lesson. Wash your damn face. Because sleeping with makeup on is just gross. And that being said as well, before, if you are someone who applies makeup, applying makeup on a clean face is important. I've seen things on the internet where people are like, oh, you don't really need to wash your face in the morning. I think you do. You've been sleeping for like 8 hours in your own sweat, and like, when you think about it, your bed sheets and your pillowcase you've slept on for 7 nights. You wouldn't wear the same outfit, or like, if there was a face mask, so during COVID, okay, let's use that as an example. Like, how many people got acne breakouts and horrible acne because they had a face mask on their face because they had to, and they had to wear it like every single day, and they weren't changing their face mask. Like, I think it was called maskne, wasn't it, when they sort of said how many people were breaking out around their mouth from wearing the same mask every single day. It's the same principle. Like, whether you wear makeup or not, when you go to bed, you are putting like the same material where bacteria has built up onto your skin and onto your face every night, where you're then going to sweat, get hot. If you're someone who's in a relationship, you're sharing that bed with somebody else as well. Like, washing your face in the morning before you then slap on a load of makeup, which is going to just congeal, and oh, all that dead skin that's on your face, all the bacteria, all the gross old sweat, and you're then just mixing it in with makeup on your face. So yeah, definitely wash your face in the morning. And if anybody tells you you don't need to, don't listen. And I'm not saying you need to do like a double or a triple cleanse in the morning or in the evening even, but just make sure your face is clean and not overly clean. I feel like maybe I need to do a whole skincare breakdown. Maybe that should be one of my videos. But yeah, wash your face, keep it clean, wash that makeup off, wash the night off your face before you, just be like aware of what you're doing, I think is important. Like, just being aware of what is on your skin or what your skin has been through. Um, and yeah, again, talking about skincare, I always use natural makeup and natural skincare. So I know that this is quite a controversial opinion. And I know that a lot of beauticians, or yeah, I've seen a lot of people and they say that natural skincare um, isn't necessarily the best thing. But for me personally, and for the research that I've done into the chemicals that can be used in products, and I have got very sensitive skin. So I am really, really stingy and funny over what goes onto my skin. And so if it's not 100% natural and from a decent brand, it's not going anywhere near my skin. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. And I think it takes something like 15 to 20 seconds for whatever is on your skin to get sort of starting to soak into the skin and into the bloodstream. So, yes, you have a skin barrier which stops things that shouldn't get into your skin, but it doesn't always stop everything, like nanoparticles, for example. So, yeah, natural makeup for me, if it's going on my face for a long period of time, it's got to be natural. That's just my personal opinion. I'm lucky as well that although I'm trained as a makeup artist, I've got like my face shape, I don't need to do like heavy contouring. My skin doesn't sweat, so I don't get like a glistening face, so I don't need like heavy powder. I am quite lucky in that respect. So I can get away with more natural makeup because I do think that natural makeup is definitely not always at the same spec as non-natural makeup. So I think, yeah, if you're someone that has a genuine concern, or are desperate to cover something up, or you work in makeup, it's very hard to use 100% natural brands, especially for things like translucent powders and foundations, concealers. In fact, I'd go as far to say especially concealers, because the more natural it is, the more I find it has an oilier base and it can move around the skin a little bit. But for me, because things do seem to stay, I always use natural makeup and I always take it off. What else do I do that's really, really important? I have every morning, I'll always drink a celery juice. So, like I said, my skin's quite acne prone. I do want to do a podcast episode where I break down why I drink celery juice every morning. But yeah, I wasn't sure I believed in how much of a difference drinking celery juice makes, because a lot of celebrities like Kim K and I think J Lo as well does it, but I don't hold me to that. I know Kim Kardashian definitely talks about it at some point. Miranda Kerr, the model that was a Victoria's Secret model, she has claimed that she said that she drinks it as well. So I thought it was just like this celebrity fad. And then when I started doing more research into it, I thought I'll try it. And then with my personal journey and my acne journey, I saw a huge difference as soon as I started drinking celery juice, and not just in my skin, in so many other ways. So I think I'll do a breakdown of why I drink celery juice, and yeah, I'll do that in another podcast. Um, and I'll always, this is another weird one actually, I always scrape my tongue in the morning. So I bought a tongue scraper like 7 or 8 years ago, because I'm really weird about my teeth. I am so weird about my teeth. I don't like the idea of eating breakfast and you've not brushed your teeth before. I don't know, you get like this horrible night film in your mouth, right? And yeah, I don't want to eat my breakfast with all of that in there. So that's why I bought a tongue scraper, because I like the thought of having a clean tongue as well as clean teeth. But it again has so many health benefits from scraping your tongue, and it makes your food taste nicer. You can taste better. Um, yeah, so that's another thing that I do. Um, yeah, what else do I do? Yoga, we all know that. Exercise is so important. Recently, I've got into Pilates as well, but this is like tried and tested things that I've been doing for years. Yoga, I've been doing years and years. Stretching specifically, I think is really important. Obviously, like strength work and using like weights, big, small, whatever, in moderation. Don't go, I think you've got to be careful not to go overkill with weights, because if you hurt yourself, it can be very hard to rehabilitate, which anybody who's listening to this who is a big fan of the gym probably has been in that situation where they've lifted too heavy, pulled a muscle, and it's set them back like 6 months. So I think it is important, but it's so good to lift weights. But flexibility as well, I think, is just so important. As we all get older, it's important to think about what you will and won't be able to do in the future, and how you can help support yourself to be the best version of yourself when you get older. And I'm not talking like 40, 50, I'm talking like 70, 80, 90. Like that's where you're exercising for, you're looking after your body for when you are 70, 80, 90, and you're struggling more to get around, and you're struggling to do things like getting up off of chairs, going upstairs. The more you put in now to having strong bones and flexible joints and flexible muscles, the more you're going to thank yourself in the future. So I stretch every evening, pretty much always, but I do try and stretch in the mornings as well if I can. Pretty much every morning I do get a good stretch in, but it depends. And on that note as well, I think going outside is important. Although I can't, that would be really hypocritical if I said that I did that. And until recently, because I've got a puppy now, so I go out every day and take him for a walk, and I have noticed massive benefits from doing that. But again, this is things that I've done for years, and I have not been going for a walk outside every day for years. So, and I think these are just things that are so important. I guess food as well is another one. What you're putting into your body, you are what you eat, I think is a very, very, very true. Um, but I'm quite lucky in that I don't, for example, I don't drink alcohol. I don't really like how it makes me feel. It makes me very anxious, which has its pros and cons, I guess. Like, it's a shame because I like the thought of being able to go out and party and, but I actually really don't enjoy it once I'm there. I'll be one of those people that gets ready and it has, gets so excited and then turns up and has a drink, and I start like, I do not enjoy it. I just start worrying all the time. Don't know why. It heightens my anxiety, but it does. And I also don't drink fizzy, so I I sound like such a child. I do not like the taste of alcohol. I don't like the taste of coffee, and I really don't like fizzy drinks. Fizzy drinks feel horrible in your nose. I do not get how people do it. It like makes my eyes water. But again, these have pros and cons in that because I don't like these things, I don't ever touch them, which is kind of good as well because they're not always the best thing for you. Um, so yeah, I guess in that respect, like I am quite lucky. I also can't eat dairy, so that limits like so many things, especially if I go out for a meal, and everyone can have a pudding, and I sit there and I'm like, no, I can't eat any of this because it's all covered in cream. So, and like, yeah, it means that I end up eating a lot healthier. I think dairy products, well, it's high fat, isn't it, dairy? So yeah, it can. I mean, I'm not saying that not eating dairy is, or eating dairy is really bad for you, but not eating dairy definitely helps with like keeping a slimmer waistline because you're not tempted by naughty foods because you can't eat most of it, which is so depressing, but here we are. I'm trying to think what else I do or eat. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. Oh, okay, here's another weird thing about me. I really, and this is a controversial opinion, I really don't like McDonald's, KFC, like Burger King. I've actually never had a KFC or a Burger King. And I've only had one McDonald's in my whole life when I was a child. The smell, I don't know how people like it. I really don't. Um, I feel like people are going to listen to this and totally not relate at all. But these are things that in food wise that I've had or been like, and it has helped me, I guess. But even like if I have, like when I was really young, I've been on a night out and maybe I am drunk and I'm out and all my friends would be like, let's get a McDonald's. At no point have I ever gone, yeah, I'll have some. I walk into the, like, they pump it outside, don't they, the smell, and like I can smell it from the outside. I'll walk in and I can smell it and I'm like, no, this is not for me. It just smells like chemicals. I don't know how people can eat it, but there we go. Like, that is just me. And I'm sure if I actually ate something, I'd be like, oh, it's not too bad. Although saying that, I ate it when I was a child and didn't like it. So I sound like I'm a really picky eater, but actually, weirdly, other than those things, I'll literally eat everything. Like there's no fruit or vegetable that I won't eat. Um, yeah, there's no fruit, there's no vegetable. I think the only thing I wouldn't eat again is I once tried cactus and that was disgusting. So yeah, I would never eat cactus again. I think it was a fad. The restaurant was clearly just trying to sell something interesting and I was like, "Oh, I'm up for trying something new." But cactus was the worst thing I've ever eaten in my whole life. It was like a bitter slug. It was horrible. Yeah, I think that's everything. What else have I done for years? Meditations, well, specifically mindfulness. Um, yeah, I started out with mindfulness, and I think if you're interested in starting meditating but you really struggle to do it, start with mindfulness, learn mindfulness, and then maybe take that into meditations. But yeah, being grateful as well, like having a gratitude journal is something I've done for years, and I think that makes a huge difference to like my mentality. Um and yeah, I think that's everything that I do. Drinking water, sleeping 8 hours, having a silk pillowcase. I don't use heat on my hair. I drink celery juice every day. Exercising, practicing yoga, stretching, um, being mindful of the food that you're putting into your body, and what foods I do and don't eat. Um, yeah, being mindful. I think that is everything that I do. So there you go. There's some little tips and tricks, things that you guys can follow or try. Um, yeah, and just little things that I've been doing for years and would never, I don't think I'd ever stop doing any of them at all. Even if I go on holiday or like when I was younger again, if I did ever go on a night out, um, like things like a skincare routine and I just I would never not do all of these things in a day if I could help it. If I don't get my 8 hours, I'll have a nap. Or, I will always wash my face and wash makeup off. I These are all just little things I could not do without. And as I've got older now, I as well, like I'll be honest, I just don't like alcohol, don't like coffee, and I don't like I've got to the point now where if I don't like it, I'll try it, but if I don't like it, I'm not doing it. I can be very stubborn. So, yeah, I guess those are some little wellness tips that I do and have always done and will always do. If you guys have got any questions or want me to talk about any of them in depth, write a comment, let me know. Um, like I said, I think I'll go over my skincare routine in a video. I'll probably go over why I drink celery juice as well. But I just thought these were like some little interesting things that have been tried and tested by me, loved by me, and I would never ever not do. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please subscribe to my channel or leave a review on Spotify if you are listening on Spotify. And yeah, I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thanks. Bye.